guys, Will here with W.T.F Car Reviews, and today we're going to be doing a head-to-head comparison between the 2022 Kia Sorento SX with a 2.5 turbo and the 2022 Kia Sorento SX PHEV.
And huge thanks to Malik at Regal Kia in Lakeland, Florida for making this review possible. These guys have an impressive dealership. I'll leave a link to their inventory below. And if you're looking for a new car or SUV in the Tampa Lakeland area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out and ask for Malik.
And for those of you guys who don't know, the Sorento started off as Kia's compact SUV back in 2002. That's when the first generation was released, lasting up until around 2009 before moving up to the mid-size segment and remaining in the mid-size segment to this day. The fourth generation Sorentos that you see here were released last year in 2021, and for 2022 we do receive some updates, starting off with the updated Kia badge and this all-new 2022 PHEV trim level. Both Sorentos that you see here are technically SX trims. The SX on the left features a 2.5-liter turbo engine producing a very healthy 281 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque, made it to a dual clutch transmission, 8-speed dual clutch. You can expect 0 to 60 with a good launch under 6 seconds, so really impressive performance. The plug-in hybrid on the right starts with a 1.6-liter turbo producing about 177 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque, made it to a single electric motor with 82 horsepower and 224 pound-feet of torque, combined 261 horsepower, and if you just combine the torque numbers, it's making over 400 pound-feet of torque. But the 0 to 60 made it to the 6-speed automatic transmission on the right is closer to the 6.5 second mark, so the 2.5-liter turbo is without question quicker, but the all-electric or the plug-in hybrid version has 32 miles of all-electric range. So in terms of fuel economy, especially for situations like right now with the gas prices, the plug-in hybrid really starts to make sense. But on the left side, starting around $38,000 for the turbo, starting around $45,000 for the plug-in hybrid. Let's see what we get. So both front ends are extremely similar. You don't see a whole lot of difference outside of the left side having a full black grille area, whereas the PHEV has a aluminum chrome strip right up top. But the headlight design are triple LEDs with the LED daytime running strip for both. We get fog lights in both of the corners. Intercooler in front of the radiator on the left side because of the turbo, but we have a turbo on this specific plug-in hybrid too, so the intercooler is located in the exact same area. So other than that, the only real differences up front are the paint colors. We have an optional $500 ruby red metallic paint color. That's not the actual name of this paint, but I'll let you know right here what the actual name of the paint color is, but it is absolutely beautiful. But this black metallic isn't much less of a beautiful color, so either way, really impressive when it comes to paint. Functional airflow in both corners too. The wheel and tire setups, we'll take a step right here. On the right side, we get 20-inch rims wrapped in Continental cross-contact LX Sport tires, dimensions being 255/45 R20s. I prefer this black wheel design over this silver and black contrasted 19-inch rim that we get on the plug-in hybrid. Dimensions here being 235/55 R19s. Still for the Continental cross-contact LX Sport tires, but again, I definitely prefer the wheel and tire setup on the turbo model. The wheel well covers have a really nice black little fender flare to them too, just flat black on the PHEV. I prefer the gloss black on this model. I also prefer the gloss black in the upper corner for the door area and fender, as well to this brushed aluminum that we get here. The window trim on the hybrid is all brushed aluminum too. Kind of reminds me of the Carnival that we just reviewed in this channel. All aluminum for the roof rails as well, whereas the turbo model, everything is blacked out. I prefer the blacked out trim on this turbo model, no question, but both mirrors are gloss black with the LED turn signal in the center, blind spot monitoring, and a heated mirror for both. Huge thumbs up. Smart access for the front 2 passengers on the turbo model. Same thing for the PHEV model, smart access for the front too. Very similar vehicles. The power plant is going to be the biggest difference. As far as the window sticker on the SX front wheel drive, you can pause, take a look at all the standard features. Passion red for the exterior. We get the gray interior. The options after a $38,290 base price include this $445 paint, carpeted floor mats for $210, $50 for the cargo net, $50 to $60 for the wheel locks, $1,200 for the destination, totals us out to a tick over $40,000. But again, you can pause, take a look at all the features that we get here on the 2022 Sorento SX front-wheel drive. Panoramic sunroof with power sunshade is a standard feature on the SX that we have here, whereas for the PHEV, we still get the panoramic moonroof. However, it is a $1,300 option. Continuing along, we get this stripe on the SX turbo model. We also get one on the PHEV. So very similar overall, it's just a different color scheme. Screw open for the gas cap. This SUV does accept 87 octane fuel. For the turbocharged engine, I would personally recommend just going with 93. Both rear wheel and tire setups are the same as the front. The overall side profile, hopefully you guys can pick it up, is very aggressive for both. I think the turbo has a more bold design to it. You can let me know in the comments section what you guys personally think. The rear styling for the PHEV, same thing as you get on the right side. The only difference, of course, this PHEV has all-wheel drive, so we get the all-wheel drive sticker, not sticker, badge. LED taillights with the reverse lights in the lower right corners and left corner, Sorento badge beneath. The updated Kia badge and the Eco plug-in badge as well. The rear wiper is integrated really nicely with your spoiler. Third brake light integrated with your spoiler as well. The rear styling of the SX, same thing, we just don't get the all-wheel drive badge since it's only front-wheel drive. Reverse lights, Sorento. Shout out Regal Kia here in Lakeland, Florida for making this review possible. Third brake light with your wiper. But we can rev up this 2.5 liter turbo and hear how she sounds. Alright guys, that was of course the sound of the 2.5 liter turbo sold by Kia for the 2022 Sorento SX 2.5T, cranking out 281 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque. Made it to this 8-speed dual clutch. You can expect 0 to 60 around 6 seconds, maybe even quicker if you get a great launch to it. I'm not liking how the battery's on the driver's side, not the best when it comes to weight balance, but it seems like the motor is pushed to the left quite a bit, which will hopefully offset it. We don't get struts for the SX Turbo, but we do get struts for the hybrid, which we'll check out in 1 second. Both SUVs have an aluminum stick connecting the 2 strut towers, which should really help when it comes to handling. But as far as this 2.5 liter turbo, we can shut this thing up. And it is insanely hot. It's about 100 degrees today in Lakeland, Florida, so that hood is burning hot. The hybrid system, here you have it, your 1.6 liter turbo, making 177 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque, made it to an 82 horsepower, 224 pound-foot of torque single electric motor, making a combined 261 horsepower, and if you really include the combined torque numbers, making over 400 pound-feet of torque. Made it to a 6-speed automatic transmission. You can expect 0 to 60 to be in the low 6-second range, maybe mid 6-second range, all depending on your launch. But what you see is basically what you get. I'm liking this intake tunnel for the turbocharger and the intake itself. But as you see, we get struts, which the SX Turbo just did not have. So huge thumbs up for the PHEV in that regard. We can shut this thing up. Even it is so ridiculously hot to touch any body part of these cars. But we'll take one more step back. You can get a good look at the front styling, and I think it looks really clean. I think I prefer the front styling and side profile of the Sorentos over the Hyundai Santa Fe's. You can let me know in the comments section what you guys personally think. We never checked out the window sticker of the PHEV, so let's just take a hop right here and check it out. Of course, 2022 Sorento SX PHEV all-wheel drive, Aurora black exterior with a black interior, 1.6 liter turbo GDI plug-in hybrid, 261 horsepower, 6-speed auto with paddle shifters. But again, as far as all the features, you can pause and take a look. The overall features are very similar to what we're going to get in the SX Turbo. Options include this $1,300 panoramic sunroof, which was included standard on the non-PHEV, which is a little bit of a head scratcher. Kind of would expect this to be a standard feature for the PHEV too if it's standard on the Turbo. But anyway, $210 for the floor mats, $50 for the cargo net, $115 for the carpeted cargo mat with the seat back protection. The destination charge is $1,255, total price $48,120. 79 combined, about 3.5 hours with a 240 volt for the charge time, 34 mpg combined for the gasoline only, and a 32-mile all-electric range. Very impressive, guys. As far as the interior, I guess we'll start off with the SX PHEV. The top is all soft touch. We got the really nice stitching for the bottom and the armrest area. Auto one touch for all 4 windows. Solid aluminum resistance. Aluminum surrounding it as well. 4-way adjustable mirrors and power folding. Very solid storage. The sound system is pretty impressive. Not the most impressive. I would like for it to be a little bit heavier of bass for a vehicle in this price point, but really not a big deal. We still get a lot for the money. Beautiful seats. Very supportive. Perforated, they're heated, not ventilated. I would also like for them to be ventilated for an SUV around $50,000. We do get the lumbar control. You can recline, drop, lift, and slide the seats. As far as the interior in general, we can hop inside. and really check it out. So we'll turn this air down because it is very loud. We'll turn it to its lowest function so I don't burn up back here. But what we notice is the steering wheel. Beautiful steering wheel. It's very similar to the Carnival that we just reviewed in this channel. Great 9 and 3, 10 and 2 bolstering notches is solid. On the left side, we get the volume, skip, voice commands, hang up and answer your phone calls, cruise control settings too. Adjusting your infotainment dial with the LCD display. With this button, you can press it, and we're looking at our all-electric range, gasoline, compass, and our advanced safety features. We get a digital speedo too, engine temperature, tire pressure. It's 94 degrees right now. It is insanely hot. We'll leave it at the digital speedo. Overall, very impressive when it comes to the screen. The touchscreen is excellent. The response, we know, is going to be fantastic. Kia and Hyundai have been killing it lately with their screens. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, beautiful 10.25-inch touchscreen. The gauges also include a 160 for the speedometer. We get a full EV range indicator, shows us how much charge in eco mode and how much of our power we're currently using. We're gonna have to reset this timer because the engine or the vehicle itself would turn off after about 20 minutes of idling. Anyway, though, the air vents are really cool. We have 2 tiers of air vents for the middle area, 2 tiers for both of the corners too. The dashboard is all soft touch, this stitched, etched aluminum trim for the upper part of the dashboard. I'm liking it. Wireless charging pad, 3 USB ports, no USB-C ports, heated seats, no vented seats. We can close this cubby up. A lot of gloss black for the center area, so keep your cleaning supplies at hand. The gear selector is different compared to the SX Turbo. We'll check that out in 1 minute, but you can adjust between reverse, neutral, drive with this dial, similar to like the Ram 1500. Rear view camera, solid resolution, no 360, but we do get the front and rear parking sensors, guidance lines, and trajectory. You throw it right back into park by pressing the button. Sorento badge, locking center differential, Eco, Sport, Smart, and Snow mode. We'll start this review off in Eco, transition into Sport, see what the differences are. We can turn off our parking sensors, auto hold, hill descent control, electronic parking brake, full EV mode, and our parking camera. We just press the button and it shows us our rear view. Press one more time, it returns us to our original screen. My personal favorite to look at all times would be the map, so we'll leave it right there. We get these dumbbell pockets for the cup holders. I've never seen cups shaped like this, so you're probably not going to fit much more than a 12 ounce. Nice storage for keys or coins. Additional storage in front of your very soft padded armrest. You can open up this armrest and it shows a ton of space. You're easily fitting a 12 pack in there, maybe even 16-20 ounce cans, because it is very deep. The glove box, we can open it up. It is lined with felt, pretty large. I'm expecting to fit 20-25 license plates, easily fit in a pair of shoes. Pretty much a frameless rear view mirror, but it's not auto dimming. Again, I would expect an auto dimming mirror for a vehicle in this price range. The panoramic moonroof is very nice. It opens up super quickly, but the only complaint that I have is that it should be a standard feature, since it's a standard feature on the SX Turbo. But we can see how far it opens up. Seems like it opens up very far. Doesn't open up any farther than this, but goes out basically to the second row. We can poke our way out of here. It's an insanely hot day in Lakeland, Florida. Sunny and 95 degrees. I am literally sweating buckets out here. But other than that, really impressive when it comes to the front seat. To the left of the steering wheel, we get our interior lighting, lane keep assist, traction control, open up your tailgate and your gas cap. The turn signal stocks have a very satisfying click. Auto headlamps, auto high beams. We do not get rain sensing wipers, also would be expected in this price range. We do get some nice aluminum paddle shifters though. Other than that though, you can check out your pedals down low, but we can take a step out of here, hop into the SX Turbo and just see what the differences are. And as far as like the second and third rows, I guess we'll do it in this SX Turbo. They're the same thing outside of the front seat. There's slight differences for the front seats, really nothing crazy. As far as like the interior in general, you're not going to see a whole lot of differences outside of this gear selector, and we don't have the locking center differential since we do not have all-wheel drive. The overall color scheme is completely different though. We get the beige interior, same Syntex seats with the perforation, heated, not cooled. The wireless phone charger is in the exact same spot. The map, same thing as the PHEV. We actually have the map in a larger screen setting. But overall, what you see is basically what you get. Very impressive. We'll actually return it to the map. That's what I personally choose to look at all times. Same non-auto dimming rear view mirror. You can, of course, just pull the flap to dim if you need to. The panoramic moonroof is a standard feature on the 2.5 Turbo. We'll leave the shade open for the purpose of this review. We'll leave the moonroof closed, but we'll open up the shade so we can see how much light is brought into this cabin. But as you see, basically the exact same thing as the front seat of the PHEV, and to be expected. But for the additional $7,000 for the base price, I would expect to see the PHEV have a little bit more upscale of an interior, at least give us a standard panoramic moonroof if you're going to charge us $7,000 and then charge us an additional $1,300 for the moonroof. That's my only complaint really so far with the PHEV. As far as the back seat, we get the captain chairs in both soft touch materials throughout, soft touch even for the upper portion, auto one touch out rear, cup holders, decent little storage pocket, not the most impressive, but you can easily fit a big gulp in there with no issues. Sorento nameplate for the rear as well. Same thing with the PHEV. As far as the legroom, also insanely impressive, guys. I'm a little over 6 feet tall and I have so much space. The captain chairs will help when it comes to third row legroom too. Mat pocket and a cargo net. We get the air vents, 12 volt and a USB port. I haven't seen any USB-C ports, but still we get USBs all over the car. 2 more attached to your front seats. The light brought into the cabin is incredible with this huge panoramic moonroof going well into the trunk / third row area. The interior lighting out rear, press the button, is an LED. But what you see, again, basically what you get, very impressive throughout. The luxury is great. Remember, this SUV starts with a base price under $40,000. Please don't forget that. As far as the third row, you simply press this button and it shoots us forward. All we got to do is lift the seat up, lift up the headrest, move these floor mats out of the way, and just take a step inside. Oh my gosh, not as easy as I thought. Definitely not as easy as the Carnival. If you're gonna be a large dude going into the third rows, I would definitely suggest going with the Carnival. But really impressive when it comes to legroom. The center hole for the captain chairs helps out quite a bit. Headroom is incredible. I have at least 3, 4, 5 inches of headroom, so definitely no concerns. USB ports in both of the corners. Power folding second row seats too. Also a nice feature with a 12 volt right next to it. Hook tie downs all throughout. Hard plastic for the armrest areas, but it's a great spot for a phone, cup holder, basically everything you would ever want or need. Press the button one more time, press and hold, and it shoots forward. But again, getting in and out for someone my size isn't as easy as I would like. The Carnival is a lot easier for larger people accessing the third row. We'll take a look at the trunk in the SX Turbo. You simply press the button underneath the E for the Sorento and it opens up automatically. As far as the cargo space for the third row is up, not the most impressive. We do get a little bit of secret storage, so if you're gonna have the third rows up a lot, I'd recommend just taking this cover off and using this as like a nice little cubby. To fold the second row seats down, you simply just pull and push the seat forward, and the overall space is incredible. You fold those rear seats down, I'm expecting you to fit at least a 75 to 80 inch TV with no issues whatsoever. Very impressive cargo. The opening is nice and low, just like the Santa Fe. To shut this thing up, you simply press the cargo button, and you can also lock the car by a push of a button. And as soon as the tailgate closes, we're going to start off with a PHEV only because the electric battery is running a little bit low, so I like to get it done as soon as possible. And then after we get this test drive done on the PHEV, we'll take that 2.5 liter turbo out and then decide what trim level to go with. All right guys, now we're just about seeing everything we need to see with the inside and outside of both the SX PHEV and the SX 2.5T. Let's take them out for a drive, starting off with the PHEV. And the first thing I noticed is even with the electric motors activated, the throttle feels pretty sensitive. The engine's not even running right now, and the torque feels really good. But we'll try it out in the, wow, that's pure EV and the acceleration is fine. We'll try one acceleration run in pure EV right here, pure EV, and wow, we get to highway speeds very quickly. That's impressive, guys. Definitely gets up to speed very well in the pure EV modes. As far as sport mode, try it out in sport. Now the engine is activated. A little rolling pull. Ooh, feels strong. Wow. Definitely gets to highway speeds quickly. But the 1.6 turbo has like a little buzzy sound to it. We'll check out the 2.5 turbo, see if it has a better overall noise to it. But as far as like handling and composure, we could take a step out onto this little twisty road. There's some train tracks here. We'll check out the ride quality too, and I'll catch right back with you. All right guys, taking a step out, we're gonna cross those railroad tracks. Check out the composure. Soft ride quality. Doesn't feel much rougher compared to like the Carnival, but the turn signal stayed activated. And through the twisties, the steering feels sharp in sport. Not the most feel, but it's on center. As soon as you start to turn the wheel, the vehicle starts to change directions nicely. We're not really going fast enough to test out the vehicle's body roll. Hopefully this truck gets out of our way shortly. If not, we'll just give him some space and I'll catch right back with you. And another thing I noticed is the active steering really helps keep you in your lane. But right here, we could try out an acceleration off the line in sport mode. And right here, off the line, on the gas. Ooh, feels strong. Yeah. Woo! The back seat went flying back into place. Try out these manual shift modes. Nice. Not really much when it comes to rev matches. The steering turn in is nice on the gas. Yeah, it gets up and goes. It's not gonna blow you away. One more, throwing it in. Body roll is basically non-existent though. Nice. Pretty simple when it comes to keeping this thing like in its lane. It's a very easy point and shoot SUV. It feels very light. I understand that the curb weight in this thing is over 4,000 pounds, but compared to a lot of other SUVs on the road, it has a very tight feel to it. And we can take it out of sport, put it back into eco mode with the pure EV. For some reason, the manual shift modes are still activated, but we can put it right back into drive. The road noise is very quiet. You don't really hear anything at all. You feel like a little bit of a buzz because of the graining from the concrete, but it's quieter than the Carnival. And I was impressed with the Carnival when it came to sound isolation, but this Sorento PHEV is even more impressive. As far as turning radius, we'll turn around right here as soon as this Escape passes by, and Toyota, and looks like we are good. So the turning radius, it's not bad. I think the Carnival actually might have had a tighter turning radius than the Sorento. And the torque in EV mode, very surprising. You get up to speed in EV. You can use pure EV for your morning commutes to work. It has 32 miles of pure EV range. So say you're like 10 to 15 miles away from work, you can do so without ever filling up for gas. Just make sure you charge it up every morning. It takes about 3.5 hours to get a full charge of the 240 volt system. So first off, definitely invest in a 240 volt system, since the standard household outlet's only, I believe, like 110 or 120. But as soon as you get the chance, we'll give these guys a little bit of space. We'll try out one more acceleration in sport mode. Throw it into sport. And okay, we're in sport mode. We'll come to a complete stop and on the gas. Oh yeah. Yeah. I really got to latch that back seat. I'm not quite sure why it's not latched. I could have sworn we had it figured out, but not a big deal. Throw it in one more time, a little faster than we should. The body roll just about doesn't exist. Nice. This bus is taking up a lot of space. But wow, I'm impressed. Again, take it out of sport mode. It's a nice SUV with a base price under 50,000 bucks after a few options, including this moonroof that should have been standard, as I mentioned. But still, under $50,000, you're getting a true plug-in hybrid that can do 0 to 60 in the mid 6-second range. You're getting terrific fuel economy, 32 miles of pure EV range, and 34 combined miles per gallon. That's absolutely incredible for a mid-sized three-row SUV. And even in eco mode, the steering feels very nice and on center. Looks like we'll get a chance to do one more acceleration onto this highway. Yeah. Nice. Very good performance. Really should have made sure that back seat was latched up. It's smacking back there every time we step on the gas. But overall, I'm really impressed with this 2022 Sorento PHEV. We've already had the chance to review one on this channel about like 6-7 months ago, and I was extremely impressed with it back then. Still impressed, but this review is about comparing it to the 2.5 turbo, which we've already reviewed in this channel as well. All in all, guys, I'm really impressed with this SX PHEV Sorento. You get a lot for the money. Outside of that panoramic moonroof not being a standard feature, I got absolutely no complaints with this vehicle. The performance is very solid. Comparing it to the 2.5 turbo, let's do exactly that. hop behind the wheel of the 2.5T SX Sorento, and I'll catch back with you in 1 second. All right, guys, taking a step out in the all-new 2022 Kia Sorento SX 2.5T. Let's take it out for a drive. And the first thing I notice is even in eco mode or comfort mode, the steering feels a little bit better than the PHEV. I think that may have something to do with the fact that this car has the 20-inch rims with 255 wide tires, and the PHEV only had 235 wide tires. So with a little bit of extra tire touch in the ground, the steering feels a little bit more direct and on center. But taking a step out onto this road, we'll lean into it. Once we're situated, let's go. Woo! Wow, that thing takes off. You can hear that turbo spooling up and blowing off too once you let off the gas pedal. This thing is surprisingly quick, and moving along at around highway speeds, it's a slightly louder cabin compared to the PHEV. I feel like the road... Okay, so it actually lets me know that there's a traffic light camera. Interesting. So that's a cool feature, help you get out of some sticky situations. But we'll take a step out onto this road with the train tracks and see how the overall ride quality and composure is compared to the PHEV. But I think that the road noise has something to do with the tires. The PH also has something to do with the tires. So the PHEV has the 55 series sidewall with the 19-inch rims. This SUV with the 20s has only 45 series sidewall. So I think that plays a role when it comes to the overall sound isolation and ride quality. We'll see if the ride quality is comparable to the PHEV once we hop over those train tracks. All right, guys, taking a step out onto this road, we'll cross over these train tracks, check out the vehicle's ride quality and overall composure. Wow, that's actually surprisingly impressive. Again, the ride quality felt a little bit better in the PHEV, but that's probably only because of the tires. The handling here and the steering feels really sharp and tight. Body roll feels basically non-existent. Nice. And throwing it in for the sharp one. Feels good. This is only in eco or comfort mode too. We can throw it into sport, try an acceleration off the line as soon as we get the chance, and I'll catch back with you in 1 second. All right, guys, we can try one little acceleration off the line. So right here, come to a complete stop and on the gas. So, oh, little turbo lag, but oh, once the boost kicks in, this thing is gone. Oh my gosh. Wow, yeah, that's very impressive. On the brakes, try out the manual shift modes. Wow, it feels sharp. Oh my God, boost. Yeah, wow, this thing is really fast. Little rev match downshifts too. Wow, stay in your lane, man, come on. Whoo. Nice. Wow, this thing is just so ridiculously powerful. If you look down, you're going so much faster than you think you are. Whoo. Yeah, the performance in this SUV is downright night and day compared to the performance in the PHEV. So as far as like the torque, this SUV quite honestly might be underrated. We'll throw it back into comfort mode. The isolation when it comes to road noise, I feel like there's a little bit more here compared to what we had in the PHEV. The PHEV was a little bit quieter, but again, I think that has something to do with the tires. The overall ride quality feels about equal. This doesn't feel like a rougher ride quality than the PHEV. It's mostly just to do with like the noise and the initial turn in for the steering. But other than that, both SUVs feel just about identical outside of the power delivery. The PHEV has the all-wheel drive, which helps put the power down immediately. So that 0 to 10, the 0 to 20, it will take this 2.5T with the front wheel drive, but after like 15, 20 miles an hour, this 2.5T will be long gone if it was racing the PHEV. You go with a $2,500 optional all-wheel drive system on the 2.5T, you'll put the power down consistently, and you'll consistently see 0 to 60 times in the 6-second range, maybe even quicker. This is a really impressive power plant. I would not be surprised if this motor was underrated when it came to its power figures. One more time, we can try it out in sport mode, manual shifts, first gear. Okay, first gear, on the gas. Ooh, yeah. The boost kicks in and you are just gone. Nice, throwing it in. Steering feels awesome. And throttle. It's a fast SUV. You can take this thing out of the manual shift modes. The steering feels so good in sport. Overall, I'm really liking this SX 2.5T. Base price at around $38,000. Before, like about $1,000 in options, and after destination, we're sitting right over 40. What a great value considering what you get for the money. The power is very impressive. The tech is up there. You got the nice LCD screen, well, LED screen in the center. The gauges are nicely illuminated. The 10.25-inch touchscreen has excellent response and resolution. It's an impressive SUV. Ample space in all three rows. The handling is impressive. Check it out through the twisties. You got like zero body roll. The styling is also top-notch, very clean, bold, and aggressive, especially for this SX 2.5 turbo. The PHEV is also a very sleek and well-styled SUV. I just prefer the black accents we get here for the 2.5 turbo over what we get in the PHEV. But all in all, right here, bump, nice and smooth. Highway, we'll try out an acceleration run as soon as we get the chance. But okay, looks like we got the chance on the gas. Boost kicks in and lean into it. Wow. Yeah, but if you want to get the consistent power, go with the all-wheel drive, because with this front-wheel drive, you feel torque steer. You're fighting against wheel spin with your foot, trying to keep the wheels as planted to the ground as possible. I'd recommend paying the extra $2,500 and going with the all-wheel drive. But other than that, the SX 2.5T is the trim level that I would personally choose in this head-to-head. The PHEV is great. You get a lot for the money. It's just for the $50,000 price point. I wish there were more standard features, and for about $10,000, for $7,500 less, this SX 2.5T is just, in my opinion, a better SUV. It feels more refined. The performance is more impressive. The steering is more impressive. It's just an overall more appealing SUV to me. I would definitely recommend checking out both SUVs, especially if you want the extra 10 miles per gallon. Then definitely go with the PHEV. But other than that, I want to give a huge thanks to Regal Kia in Lakeland, Florida for making this review possible. I definitely recommend checking these guys out if you're looking for a new car or SUV in the Tampa or Lakeland area, and ask for Malik. And huge thanks to all you guys for watching. I had a great time making this video. Two very impressive SUVs. The second one's sitting right there, right next to us. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know I have endless gratitude for all the subscribers. You know, the channel is just not possible without you, and I really appreciate the constant support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too. It really helps me out the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment. Let me know if there's any specific cars or trucks you'd like to see reviewed in this channel too. And I'll definitely try to get those videos for you as soon as possible. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a great day.